Hi FlossTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin and this is my channel, Lady Robins. If you are brand new here, welcome to my channel. I am so happy that you are here, that you have stopped. I hope you subscribe, but if not, I hope you enjoy the video anyway. If you're a returning friend and subscriber, I'm just as happy that you're here. So again, thank you for being here. I love it when we have time to get together and discuss all things stitching, all things cross stitch. So this is my 3-year anniversary. I have been on FlossTube. This is the start of my 3rd year. So happy anniversary to me, right? It is Sunday. It is the 18th of September, and I never film on Sundays, but I have got a full week ahead of me, and I am attending a stitching retreat this next coming up weekend. The Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit in Portland, Oregon, put on by Acorns and Threads, is this weekend. So I just thought, you know what? I've got a half an hour or so right now in my schedule, and I thought I would just bring you an episode. I would film where I'm at in my stitching, you know, share my whips. I do have 2 FOs, no FFOs, but 2 FOs to share with you. And then of course I do have a teeny tiny bit of haul. So I thought I would just jump on here and talk about cross stitch with you for a while, and then I will let you move on to the next floss tuber. So everybody, welcome to a rare Sunday episode of Lady Robin's FlossTube. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm checking my notes, this is FlossTube number 123. So welcome. I don't have a mug of the day. I have just a tumbler. I've got an iced vanilla latte, but this tumbler I got from Starbucks when I was in Maui, gosh, maybe 5 years ago. But this is, so I'm like, okay, it's kind of on the edge of being mug of the day, right? So I'm going to have a little latte here. Love that stuff. Okay, I am all jazzed. I got up this morning and my husband and I skipped church, oops, sorry, and we went down to Puyallup, Washington, to the Washington State Fair. There's only a handful of things that I must do when I go to the fair. The first thing is I have to get myself a scone. Fisher Scones have been at the Puyallup, Western Washington Fair for years and years and years. So you have to walk in the gates and you have to get your scone. And then after I've had my scone, then the next thing I want to do is scurry to the hobby hall and see all of the quilts, all of the cross stitch, all of the needlepoint, all of the sewing projects. And I did that. So my brain is just like, stitching. It was so much fun. I get so energized seeing what everybody has created. And what was really fun was somebody had stitched by Satsuma Street, Pretty Little Seattle, which I had also stitched a few years ago. And it was so fun to see somebody else having stitched that, and we framed it exactly the same. It was so funny. It was like, oh, it looks like my piece. Put it in, I think it's an 8x8 square frame. I swear it's exactly the same as what I did on mine. So it was really super fun to see that. And then I was looking at some of the things that I'm like, I've got that patterns in my stash. I've got that pattern in my stash. I need to break out that. And a couple of them, my husband goes, yeah, you definitely need to stitch that. Get going. Like, I got some whips to finish, so I've got some room on my shelf to do that. So anyway, I've just had kind of a stitchy, sewing filled day already, so I thought, let's just keep the ball rolling. Okay, so why don't we start as we usually do if I finish something, and I've finished 2 things. So I had told you on my last floss tube that I was just super close to a finish on the pumpkin flower sampler by Bent Creek, and it's done. So let's start with that, okay? It is done, it is done, it is done. and I've even given it, you know, one little quick once over with the iron. I need to do a little better, put some flatter on it. That's that spray. I don't have good luck with Aleene's, no, not Aleene's. What is it? Mary Ellen's Best Press. Mary Ellen's Best Press and I are not friends. I actually had it scorch on a piece, so I'm a little leery of that stuff, but I have had really good luck, and I think it's on my desk. Let me just show you. I've had really good, yep, it's this stuff. I've had really good luck with this stuff. It's called Flatter, and it's supposed to do the same sort of thing as the Mary Ellen's. You squirt it on, you know, the back of your piece. I would not put it on the front, and then, you know, iron it, and it helps get the wrinkles. I don't know if it's got a little sizing in there to help, you know, crisp up the fabric. But anyway, this Flatter stuff works really good for me. So here we are. What is so fun about this piece is these rows between the letters of the alphabet. They're all specialty stitches. So it was super fun to do specialty stitches. I don't do them very often, and it was really rewarding. And yeah, I'm trying to think if I can remember the names of them off the top of my head. I know that that right there is eyelet stitch, and like I said, I had just the best time doing those little specialty stitches. So there we are. So that is finish number 1. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it. I might put it on some mat board and then turn it into you know, what do they call them? An easel standing flat fold. I think that's all the words, but I think you know what I mean. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about doing with this one. So that's my first finished object, FO, for those of you that are wondering about acronyms. That's the first one I finished, and I couldn't be happier. I'm really thrilled. Now the original chart came with little square orange buttons that they scattered around, and I've decided that I'm not going to spend the time to try to find those buttons to add them to this piece. I think it looks fine just the way it is. So I am gonna move on to FFOing this here in the next couple of weeks. So that is my first finish. The second thing is I am a part of the Crazy Annie's 12 Days of Christmas monthly club. And I finally sat down and stitched the very first one. So this is the Partridge in the Pear Tree. And I don't know if you can see it, but here's the white buttons. And inside each of these blocks of 4 red stitches is a red button. So I've got it back stitched. I've got the you know what, as I'm talking, I'm going, oh my gosh, there's supposed to be something up here on the top of the little partridge's head. I think it's not buttons. I think it's beads. These are beads, by the way, Robin. These are beads. Anyway, I think that there's supposed to be 2 beads up there. So this isn't a complete FO. I'm a liar, pants on fire. This is what I love about FlossTube is I bet you guys would have told me anyway in the comments that I had missed something. And yeah, looking at it from a different angle, you spot things that you hadn't spotted before. In fact, that happened on my last FlossTube. I'm stitching Huckleberry Farm by what is it? Blueflower, Janine McGowan. And I had shown something on FlossTube, and then I realized that it must be a stitch short because it didn't line up with the rest of them. And lo and behold, when I went back to Huckleberry Farm, yep, I had made a mistake on one of the letters. And so I was able to fix that thanks to the beauty of you know, viewing your work through the camera. So anyway, this is FO number 2 for me, Partridge in a Pear Tree by Crazy Annie Stitching. This is her 12 Days of Christmas. So that I had just started when I filmed my last FlossTube, so you know, pretty close to finish. I'll go get those beads put on there, and then we'll all be square, right? So in fact, I think I've got the chart right here. Have I got it right here? Yeah, I think there's it's supposed to be 2 red beads at the top of that partridge. So I will get those added in, so it will be complete. So that leads me to wanting to start the second one, which is going to be the 2 turtle doves. So I will get rolling on that here in a week or so. But I've got something else I need to finish up before I start on stocking number 2. And if you guys want to see these already stitched and finished, go check out Christine, who is Stitch All the Things. She has finished, she is up to date, she is current, she has stitched all 8 that have been released, and they're fully finished. So if you want a peek at the gorgeousness that is these stockings all finished, go check out her FlossTube. You won't be disappointed. So those are my 2 FFOs for the last 10 days or so. Yeah, about 10 days. I think I actually mark it in my book of days when I film FlossTube now, so I don't repeat information. Yeah, I filmed on September 7th, so yeah, about 10, 11 days worth of stitching is what I get to show you today. Okay, so I did also have a start. So let me switch gears really quick, and you won't be surprised what my start is. It is the October, excuse me, itchy nose, the October Snowflower Diaries piece, and I have probably done about 3, maybe 4 days of stitching on this. So I have got this flower all done. The little snail is done. I haven't put in the back stitching, and I am starting on the hedgehog. If you can see the hedgehog over here, and then I need to get that flower done. So I was thinking that tonight when I'm doing my evening stitch, I stitch in the evening when my husband and I are relaxing in the living room watching a little TV. I'm hoping to get a real good chunk of that hedgehog knocked out tonight. So I would like to, if at all possible, cross your fingers, knock on wood, do all that superstitious stuff for me, not do all that, because I would like to get this completed before I leave Friday morning for the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. And the reason I want to get that done is that way I'll have time to FFO it before the 1st of October. Because right now, as you know, if you've been watching my FlossTubes for a while, I skipped September to give myself a little bit of breathing room, and here it is, the 18th, and I'm scurrying like a crazy woman trying to get it finished in time. So that's what I'm hoping to do on Snowflower Diaries. And you guys, every time I show these, I do get questions on where do I get these patterns, because it's a freebie. I'm going to walk you through it really quick. I do this almost every other time that I show it because I want you guys to be able to stitch these. They're so much fun, because there's 12 of them, one for every month. Go to the Google, right? Go to Google Snowflower Diaries. The first hit you will get is probably her blog, and that's where you want to go. You're going to want to go to the Snowflower Diaries blog. Okay, once you're on the blog, find the little search bar within the blog. Okay, don't go back out to Google, stay within her blog, and then you're gonna search Joyful World, and that should take you probably to her December post where she put up the December Snowflower Diary freebie, and then you can click on it from there and then do the magic of downloading and printing and all that good stuff. It would be almost impossible, I feel, to go through the blog and just and find them, because I think they're from 2016. So they're years and years and years back. So you definitely need to use that search bar. So there you go. That's how you find Snowflower Diaries. I was thrilled to find out that Kathy, who is the Carolina cross stitcher, and she's the other half of Pete's Bee Skeps, she and her husband have started FlossTubes, and somehow I missed that, and she made a comment and I was like, wait a minute, that sounds like she's got a FlossTube. I found she and Pete have put up 3 FlossTube episodes, and she mentioned me that I had inspired her to start working on the Snowflower Diaries series. So Kathy, we're in good company. We're only, how many years late are we to the party? But that's okay, because they're adorable and I love doing it. And thank you for mentioning me in your FlossTube. And let me just tell you, I thoroughly have enjoyed yours. So if you're watching, thank you, I appreciate it. And for the rest of you, if you are not watching Kathy and Pete, Carolina cross stitcher and Pete's Bee Skep, just Google that on the YouTube and you will find them, and their episodes are delightful. Their interactions together are just, they're charming, and you can just tell how much they respect and love each other. It's just a feel good hour when you're with Kathy and Pete, because they are so kind to each other. It's just a joy to watch them. So there you go. There's my plug for Carolina cross stitcher and Pete's Bee Skep. And if you haven't seen their Bee Skeps, I've got one. Let me just show you. This is what Pete makes. He makes these amazing Bee Skeps, and then he puts a hole in them so they can be scissor holders. And I adore this. And then the other thing that I've got from Pete is I got a snowman. And same thing, it's got a hole in the top, so it is a scissor holder. And I got one that has, you know, an interesting knot from the original piece of wood that he used. So I couldn't be happier with these. So yeah, Pete and Kathy are fantastic. All right, so let's see here. I've showed you 2 FOs. I've showed you a start. How about some whips? Are you ready for some whips? I'm ready to show you whips. I have pulled out my Quaker Turtle. So I kind of gave myself a little bit of goal of doing a Quaker and a half every month. So in case it's new to you, this is the Quaker Turtle, and when I post pictures on my Instagram, which is the same hashtag, same name, Lady Robins, Robin with S on the end, I use Quaker Turtle Sal as my hashtag, and so I am really happy. I finished this little Quaker down here, and I am working on this guy. So let me show you where I'm at with my Quaker Turtle. And I'm thinking that when I go to Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, I think I'm going to take this because it's a monochromatic piece, and so I don't have to worry about changing floss colors. Can you see all that? See all that turtley goodness? So I finished, just a couple nights ago, I finished this Quaker down here, and I'm starting on the one right next to it. So yay! I'm having progress on my turtle, because then after that, then there's one big Quaker back here and then 2 flippers. So I am gunning for a finish by the end of this year, and I think I'm gonna make it. So I'm just gonna keep cranking away on the turtle. I just love them. And the other thing that, like I said, I love looking at my pieces on FlossTube, because the other thing I noticed is way up here, I missed two little elements. I missed those, so I need to fill those in. So, you know, even if you don't film FlossTube, you might want to hold your piece up in front of, like, if you have, like, I just film on my iPhone. You might want to film yourself holding your piece up in front of the iPhone or some sort of camera, and then go and view it, because man, I am noticing all sorts of things that need to be fixed, and it's the beauty of looking at it from a different angle, I'm convinced, that is helping me notice errors and things that need to be fixed. So anyway, that's where I'm at on Quaker Turtle. And if you're going to Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, please, please, please come and say hello to me. Tell me your name. If you've got you know, a YouTube or an Instagram handle that I might know you by, let me know that. And yeah, let's sit and have chocolate. I was listening to Sherry, who's the Colorado cross stitcher, and she was saying when she goes to retreat, she always brings chocolate because it's a great foot in the door. She likes to bounce from table to table, and she'll bounce over to a table and say, "Hi, how are you? I'm Sherry, and I've brought chocolate. Can I sit with you?" And she says, if they turn you down and you brought chocolate, they're probably not your people anyway. I thought that was hysterical, but I'm going to take a page out of Sherry's book, and I'm going to make sure I bring chocolate. And so anyway, come get some chocolate. Anyway, that's where I'm at on my Quaker Turtle. And like I said, I think this is going to be one of the pieces I bring with me, because of course we will get projects when we're there. The other thing that I think I'll bring along with me is my Huckleberry Farm. And again, if you've been here, you know that I stitch on Huckleberry Farm every single day. I am doing 25/7 stitching on Huckleberry Farm, and 25/7 stitching is you stitch on a piece 7 days a week for 25 minutes or 25 stitches. You decide what the 25 means to you. So anyway, here I am on Huckleberry Farm. Now, when last we were together, I was working on this middle stuff, and I kind of got tired of working in the middle. And so what I have switched over to is I'm working on the border. And I think last time we got together, I don't know if I had any of the white blooms done or the leaves. I might have had the leaves, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have those white flowers in there. And I definitely didn't have any of the border on the opposite side done. So I've been working on the border. I decided, you know, it's really hard to say you have a page finished when you don't have the border done. So I'm really working hard to get that border going down so that those pages 1 through 3 I can declare are complete, and then I just have 4, 5, and 6 left to go. So this is Huckleberry Farm. This is where I'm at. And I have just been having a great time working on this. The other thing that Huckleberry Farm is being used for this month is WIPGO. It was one of my WIPGO calls. So my goal for a WIPGO call is to work on a piece for 5 days. And for it to count as a day of stitching, it has to be a minimum of an hour. More would be better, but sometimes I only get some evenings I only get an hour of stitching before it's time to go to bed. So I have done 3 days of at least an hour of stitching on Huckleberry Farm. My other Whip Go call this month is Harbor Haven, and I haven't showed you that in a long time, so I thought I would pull it out. You'll have to pardon my backside because I forgot to yank it out of the bookcase, but I'll be right back. Right back. Okay, so I still need to do stitching on 5 days of stitching on Harbor Haven to complete my monthly Whip Go. I hope I can make it. We'll see. So I am currently on chart number 3 in Harbor Haven. So let me show you where I'm at. This also wouldn't be a bad piece to take to Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, because where I'm at, I have a lot of water to be filled in. So I've got these plastic magnetic, what do you call them? Cable ties? I think that's what they're called. Anyway, let me just take these off my piece real quick. Let me show you where I'm at. So I have completed the first 2 sections, and I'm working on section 3. So this is section 1. So like if you cut the tree down the middle, that's section 1 on, so that would be your right. And then on the left side is section 2, and so then section 3 is pretty much the edge of this red building, and then going over this way is the 3rd scene. And so I actually have all of this in here is water that needs to be filled in. I always forget, you guys, I always forget to tell you what I'm stitching on, and if you need to know, if you're dying to know, just shoot me a message in the comments, and I'm happy to answer that question. I will get that information to you. I do also try to put that information down below in the box in the show notes. It occurred to me as I'm, 4 whips in or whatever, that I hadn't talked about this, but this is a 32 count sea foam linen by Weeks, and this is the old Weeks, so this is pretty floppy, but that's what I chose to, this was the color I loved. This is what I wanted to stitch it on. So anyway, that's where I'm at on this. I am using all the called for floss except for the water. I wanted something that had a bit more movement to it, so I am using 2 over dyes, and one of them is called Turquoise, and the other one is called, do I have it written down? I think I did this last time. Bejeweled. That's the other one. And one I think is a classic Colorworks, and the other one is Weeks Dye Works, but don't quote me on that. Look at the show notes. But what's really super fun is a new floss tuber to me, the Paisley Stitcher, and her first name is Grace, and I'm sure you probably all know about her already, but she's put up, I think, 2 floss tubes now, and I just sat down and watched her first episode, and you guys, she's stitching on Harbor Haven just like me, except she's doing it on 40 count 1 over 1. Whereas I'm doing it on 30 count 2 over 2. So mine's going to be a complete and total whopper. That's okay. But it is her stitching is impeccable. It is so pretty, you guys. Another floss tuber, go check out Grace, the Paisley Stitcher. Hi, Grace, if you're watching. And definitely watch episode number 1, because she shows her Harbor Haven, and it was so fun to hear somebody say that they were stitching this, because again, this is a Sal from by the Bay Needleart, and this was from years ago, yeah, 2017. So anyway, I'm late to the bandwagon on this one as well, but I loved it, and I just wanted it in my life. So you know, there you go. I can't imagine people stitching this thing and getting it done in a year. I know that Jan Hicks did it. That's amazing. I'm on like year number 2 of working on this, and I'm only 2.5 scenes in. So this probably is not going to be a finish anytime soon unless I become a monogamous stitcher on it. And even then it won't be anytime soon because I'm pokey. But that's okay. I have so much fun with my stitching. Pardon me, I wiggled the camera. That, you know, there's no shame in my game. I enjoy what I'm stitching, and I just get as much done as I can. Okay, so you guys, that's it for whips. That's it for finishes. In terms of plans, like I said, I really want to get a finish on the October Snowflower Diaries. Then I'm going to work on Harbor Haven. I'm going to keep working on Huckleberry Farm 25/7. I'm going to keep working on that. And I have a couple more days to stitch beyond the 25/7 for hitting my whip go goals. Then if that isn't enough, the other thing that I've done, and of course, you know, I want to start stocking number 2. I mean, as if that's not enough, right? I have kitted up one of the Jeanette Douglas Seasons of the Hearts. I have kitted up Autumn, and I want to get started on that as well. So I've got it all here in a little plastic zippery bag. I've got my fabric, you know, cut, and when I can, I zigzag around the edges. So I've got it zigzagged. It's ready to go. I've got my flosses. So I need to work that into my stitching as well, because that is so pretty. So that's another thing that I would like to get to sooner as opposed to later. Before I move on too far, I wanted to call out a couple of floss tubers. I've done 2 of them already that I started watching over the last 10 days. So like I said, I started watching Kathy and Pete, the Carolina Cross Stitcher and Pete's Bee Skeps. So hi to you guys. Grace, who is Paisley Stitcher. Hi Grace, if you're watching. I loved their channels. Another one, this lady is a faithful viewer of mine. She comments on almost every episode, and her first name is Linda, and her channel is her name, Linda Kleindienst. It's Kleinedinst. You guys, Linda has, I don't know, 30, 35 FlossTube episodes filmed and on her channel. You need to watch Linda. I had no idea that Linda did FlossTube. She mentioned it in the comments of the last FlossTube, and I'm like, where have I been that I didn't know that you are a fellow FlossTuber? She does Hades. She is phenomenal. The Hades that she's working on, to die for. You have got to go check out Linda again. Her last name, it's Linda Kleindienst. I'm sorry, Linda, if I'm messing that up, but it's spelled Kleinedinst. Go check out Linda. Like her stuff, subscribe to her channel. She is worth watching, and she's a lot of fun. So I watched Linda. 2 that I haven't caught in quite a while, and they just were recommended to me. Jen's Stitching Niche. I watched Jen when I first started watching FlossTube before I made my own videos, and somehow I just don't see her in my feed, and she came up in my feed. And her last FlossTube, man, she had some really amazing finishes on her channel. So I would say go check out Jen. If you're like me and she's dropped off the feed, go check Jen out. And then the last one is Michelle, who is Penny's Daughter Shares. She has not done a FlossTube, I think she said, since April. And she's another one that I thought, oh, I guess, you know, I must just be missing her. Nope, she hasn't filmed for a long, long time. She had 17 finishes to share in that time frame. So if you want to go see some really amazing stitching and some great, you know, not FFO, but, you know, FO'd pieces, go check out Michelle at Penny's Daughter Shares. So she was delightful. It was really nice to see her back on camera. So those are the 5 that kind of crept up on my list of floss tubers. I have a little bit of haul down here. Hold on one second. Okay, so I had to go down to Portland. And when you go to Portland, even though Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit is coming up, you still go to Acorns. So I did do some purchasing at Acorns, and I wanted to share with you what I got. The first thing that I got was from Abby, the Top Knot Stitcher shop. This was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher last year. It was in that magazine, but she has created a drum. The Friendly Beasts is my favorite Christmas carol of all of them. Hands down, I love that Christmas carol. So I did this last year, and when I saw in Needlework Expo that this was coming out, I'm like, yep, I'm definitely going to order that from Abby. And when I was at Acorns, they had it. So I just picked it up at Acorns. I can hardly wait to start stitching on that so that I can have the companion piece to the little barn. The other thing that I picked up is my friend Becca, who is Sambry Stitches Design. She has an exclusive, the Adventure Sampler, and I bought this down at Acorns. Now you can get it completely kitted up, but I have got a lot of fabric. I've got a really cool Lakeside linen in green. I can't remember what the name of it is. But anyway, I saw this and I thought that's going to look fantastic on that Lakeside linen that's in my stash. So I just bought the chart. But if you want it all kitted, contact Acorns and Threads. And I'm not sure, but I think this Adventure Sampler might be exclusive to Acorns for a while. Okay, the next thing that I picked up was Barbara Anna, Sailing Dreams. I just couldn't leave that behind, you know, boats and water and me, right? So that was fun. I picked up, oh, yum. I picked up a Brenda Gervais, is it Be Ye Thankful? Yep, Be Ye Thankful. And I picked up all the floss for it, so I just have to pull fabric out of my stash and just get going on this. So besides the chart, I picked up all of the floss, but that's okay. I've got an app which I put my thread inventory in, and you know, I could have stood there and checked the app to see if I had the floss at home, and I was just like, I don't have time for that. Talk about a privileged white lady that I can just, you know, go nuts and buy all the overdyed flosses, whether I have them or not, because I'm too lazy. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be able to do that. And my husband was like, just do it. Just do it. So I'm like, okay. So this is almost kitted. I just have to pull the fabric, and I'm debating on if I'm going to do my beloved 32 or if I'm going to go crazy and do 36. I don't know yet. 36 and I are not, you know, we're not big fans of each other, so we'll see. Then I did pick up More Beach by Hands On Design. Yep. So funny. I showed this to my husband. And he goes, all you need to do is just stitch those seagulls. He loves seagulls. So that was fun. I don't know when I'm going to get to that. And then the last thing I picked up was the Christmas ornament issue of Just Cross Stitch. So that was my Acorns haul. I'm actually a little surprised there was more in that bag than I thought. I thought I only picked up 3 charts. That was more than 3 charts. Okay, and then the last bit of haul came in the mail yesterday. I'm so excited. The fall issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher is here, and there is tons of goodness in this magazine. So I just love it. Like on the back, look at this. This is from Hello from Liz Matthews. Isn't that adorable? And then look at those pumpkins. Oh, sorry. There's just so much goodness in here. And then Vanna Pfeiffer, she always has an article showing a finishing technique. And let me just get, it's usually straight in the middle. Let me get to the middle here. There's a Barbara Ann in here, of course. Not that. And then I gotta tell you, some of the punch needle stuff, I wish they were cross stitch designs, because they are so fantastic. Where are you, Miss Vanna? There we are. There's Vanna's article. She showed how to finish this cutie in the round with a trim. It's an amazing tutorial. So Vanna, thank you for your tutorials. I know that you do those out of the goodness of your heart and share it with all of us in the community. So I appreciate you. Thank you for doing that. I mean, it's step by step, you guys, step by step. You know, she just walks you through the whole thing. Beautiful color pictures, great directions. It's phenomenal. So anyway, if you're a subscriber, this is heading your way. All right, that's it. That's all my stitching. I've got a book for you. I just finished by Kate Quinn. Last night I finished The Rose Code, and this is historical fiction. And what I love about reading historical fiction is it then points me at a topic that maybe I didn't know anything about, and then to go read some nonfiction. And this is all about code breakers in London during World War II, that they're breaking all of the codes to give the Allies the advantage during the war. And these code breakers were at a place called Bletchley Park. And I was telling my husband about this, and he goes, "Oh, you mean Bletchley Park?" And I'm like, "How do you know that?" And he goes, "How do you not know that?" I just didn't. So anyway, this was super fun, totally grabbed my attention. So if you need a good historical fiction, it's a whopper. It took me a while to finish it. I would recommend that. I love everything I've read by Kate Quinn. She's one of my faves. And so what I'm going to start is this. It's called Weedflower by Cynthia Kadohata. And this is, I'm just going to read you the inside cover. It's about a Japanese American citizen, Japanese American girl who's a U.S. citizen during World War II and after the bombing at Pearl Harbor. It's 12-year-old Sumiko feels her life has been made up of two parts: before Pearl Harbor and after. The good part and the bad part. Raised on a flower farm in California, Sumiko is used to being the only Japanese girl in her class. Even when the other kids tease her, she always has had her flowers and families to go home to. That all changes after the horrific events of Pearl Harbor. So I am thoroughly looking forward to reading this. This was recommended to me by one of my co-workers. So this is what I'm up to next. I'm going to read Weedflower. And at the end of the Rose Code, there is a bit of a bibliography. The author included titles of books about some of the original code breakers that some of her characters are based on. So I've got a lot of really good reading ahead of me. So that's what I'm up to, you guys. All right, I am off. On Friday, my friend Lynn and I are driving down to Portland first thing Friday morning to go to the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. I will let you know how that goes. I hope to have pictures of myself with all sorts of friends down there that I can share with you next time. So have a great Sunday, you guys, and I will see you after the Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. Okay, stitch happy, my friends, and I have not forgotten about my 4 charts that I want to share with you. I'd like to give you guys 2 floss tubes to comment before I go and select the winners. So if you're interested in those, go back an episode and you will see what I am sharing, and then comment on that episode, not this one. Okay, have a great rest of your Sunday and stitch happy. Okay, bye guys.